Hi, this is Roni and welcome to Friday's Mixed Media Frenzy. Today I will be using that sketch right there, and so will everybody else that's doing Mixed Media Frenzy. And we're all going to show our own takes on this sketch. And there's the stencils I pulled out. I'm only going to use one, but I wasn't sure which one I was going to use still. I narrowed it down to those four. Here is some watercolor. I know they're in tubes. I've had them several years, but it does say watercolor on them. And it don't take much. I mean, a very little amount. And I'm going to mix blue and green together, and I'm going to have like a bluish teal. And then later I am going to put more green than the blue, so I'll have some contrast in my background. And that's my favorite part right there. And I'm going to cover that part up. Yeah. Don't know why I wasn't thinking when I did it. But it happens every time just about. I am sprinkling. I do have a water brush there, and it does have water in it. And so I just kind of squeezed it and put more water into the paint in and as I need it. And I'm matting my picture on white here, and the reason being is the school colors are actually maroon and white, and I don't have no maroon on here. I do have a little bit of maroon cardstock, but it just didn't seem to go, so I didn't use it. But they also wear black, so he has on white with black lettering, even though it's not school colors. I don't understand that part. But the others have maroon shirts on. My son and my daughter-in-law both do, and I think both kids do. You can't see Hope in there. But, yeah, they have the maroon on, and he has a lot of maroon stuff. He just don't have any maroon on this layout. And they were at the football game, and I'm thinking Charlie took the picture, so she isn't in there, but she is there. And the title's going to be Team Landon. Oh, here I am putting a little bit of the watercolor on that paper, and then I'm taking my paper towel and just wiping it away so it looks really light and faded. I don't want it very dark at all. And I am going around the white frame too, because although my plan was originally to make it white and the background be white, it just kind of a little bit too white to me. Oh, and I wanted to tell you about the sketch, which I forgot to do at the beginning. It's from the Scrap Sisters, and it's a French blog. So unless you can read French, you can't read it when you get there, because my computer said no translation available. Although some of them do. I like going to them and then clicking on that part and going ahead and reading. And here I'm using I'm using modeling paste, and it's the other color where I added a little bit more green, and I'm going to put the dots on there. I decided to go ahead and use this one, and it is a Heidi Swap one. I've had it for a very long time, and it has like four different things on there that you can use it on the stencil. But they're small areas, but usually you don't want to do the whole page anyway. Oh, these these alphas, I think I got them from Hobby Lobby, I'm pretty sure. And they're bubbles, and I don't know when I got them. It's been a while. And for the life of me, I could not get those letters straight. I finally gave up, took them off, and used the Stuart punches and put the team on there with that instead. And it did look good, but I just couldn't get the letters straight. And I was afraid I wouldn't have no more sticky on there and not realize it, and that'd be falling down in the bottom of the page protector. So I just decided to do the team. And also it had a big shine to it. You had to look at it a certain way to be able to see it good because of the little plastic bubble on top of the letter. Yeah, it really has a plastic bubble. And if you push too hard, it even punches in. So, yeah. But they are cute. And here I am getting the stickers out and deciding what I'm going to use on the page. And that hut, it blended in too much, so I put some of the darker brown around it. And I'm thinking I'm going to use that sticker up there, and it says touchdown on it. It has like 25, 2015 all the way down. And I am, but I'm going to make it into a banner. And I'm going to move the hut hut. I looked at that picture, and it's like a vintage looking football player. And I'm going to put it on there, and I put some brown paper around it too, and I'm going to nestle that helmet into the edge of that picture. I know nestle and helmet don't seem to go together. And I had to throw a little more adhesive on there because it had like a little teeny tiny dot in the center, and it just wasn't enough. And then after I did that, I noticed I had to put some more adhesive, foam adhesive on both places, in between the layers of the helmet too. And I'm deciding how I want to work the hut up there at the top and have the helmet, and it just kept looking kind of funny, so I will add something later that I think makes it all look more at home up there. And this brown paper does have words on it, so I'm trying to pay attention and make sure I don't put the words upside down on it. But I'm going to have it hanging off the side just a little bit, and I'll clip that. I didn't want to have a fishtail on both ends. And I decided to cut it shorter. It was getting too close to the paper behind my picture, and so I cut the banner shorter so it wouldn't come out as far. And I'm working again with that picture. And you see that little teeny tiny gap there? That's why I said I'm going to end up moving the paper down that's behind the picture. I'll move the whole little cluster down so that it'll nestle in with the title. And I'm looking at the stickers again to see what I could use. And there's 2 stars on there, not 3. Why would they put 2 stars and not 3? I was wanting 3. Kind of an obsession. I guess I could have punched my moan out instead of complaining though. And here I am pulling out zone. I think it is what I'm pulling out. Let me look at my layout. Yeah, it just says zone, and it looks like it's got stitching around it, which I could have done on the outside of my layout. I thought of it since there are a couple of things with stitches around them, but I decided to just do the squiggly lines instead since it was mixed media and kind of messy looking. And don't that cluster up there look better? Well, it will in a second. With that game wheel, well, half a game wheel on there, it just needed a little something else, and I wasn't quite sure what. And then I thought, surely I've got a die cut that I can use on here. And since I was using it for up there, I decided to use the other half down by the main cluster, well, the picture cluster, whatever. And I'm pulling out some foam tape to put behind that zone. I realized I had never stuck that baby down yet. I pulled out this helmet paper thinking I might use it for something and put a little of it on the paper, but I didn't. So then I pulled out my enamel dots, and I am going to put 3 clusters of 3 each in the black. Since I already have some black on the layout, I wanted to add just a little bit more. And yeah, I do think it looks better with those circles in there because everything else was either square or rectangle, even though I didn't make them perfectly square and rectangle since I hand cut everything, but I wanted to have a different shape on my layout. And I am going to go around it. The first time I kind of picked my pen up and down, but the second time I just slide it's a zig marker in brown. I didn't use black to go around here, and I am going to put some squiggly lines here and there too. And I think that's it. I think I'm done with my layout once I do that. Oh, I will have to glue that other little thing down, and it's MVP. So my title says Team Landon Football MVP, which is most valuable player. And I'm going to put staples on each end of it, and then since I have the stapler in my hand, I'm going to go up and put one on the banner above there. And I pulled out my distressed ink. I kept looking at that layout and thinking, boy, it's white with that gesso on there. And even though I was wanting white when I started, the more I did my layout, the more I thought it was too white. So I used the old paper distress ink and went over the whole thing so it wasn't quite as white anymore. And I really liked that the gesso was there, and I didn't put it on super smooth. And so it gave texture to the layout. Kind of reminds me of a canvas by the time I got done. And I thought it looked pretty good. I think Landon will like it in his scrapbook. And there I'm adding some twine. It's brown, and I think it's called waxy flax, and or at least it used to be, and it was from close to my heart, and so it has a little bit of wax on it. But yeah, except for that little tiny piece that I have when it's left over, it's all I've got of it. I do have some other brown. It is stiffer though, and I think the way somebody on here described it, what twine, what jute looks like, and she said it was kind of like burlap, and the other stuff I have is kind of like burlap. Yeah, I'd much rather have used this, but probably use the other just because I don't want to throw it away. And really, I am about done with the layout. I don't think I do anything else after I add this. But I will leave links to everybody's channel that is doing the Mixed Media Frenzy this week. Oh, I do one more thing. I'm pretty forgetful tonight on what all I did on here. Well, it has been a couple of days. I decided, since it is a school one, I was going to add some notebook paper, and I decided I wanted to put it in black, so it's going to go along the edge of the picture on the left. I felt like it needed something over there, and if I hadn't used all that brown twine, I would have maybe ran it across there a couple of times. But yeah, I like the notebook paper better anyway. But again, I will leave links to everybody else, and you can see their amazing layouts. It's probably better than mine because it's been a long time since I've done mixed media. I do it every now and then, but not too often. But I'm going to be a part of this group, so I guess I'll be doing it more often. I have a whole cart full of stuff that I need to use. But there are my close-ups, and if you leave a comment below, I'll be sure to get back with you. If you liked the video and would hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I hope you subscribe. And I hope you liked the video this week, and come back next week for some more Mixed Media Frenzy on Friday. I want to thank the gals from the Mixed Media Frenzy team for inviting me to join. I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.